Awesome date, November 8th, 2010. Awesome topic, baseball anime. It's better than you think. This is the OSMcast. Hi folks, and welcome to the OSMcast. This time, make it awesome. Well, okay, this is sort of the OSMcast. And that, hi, I'm Basil. I'm the only actual member of the OSMcast here. Everybody else is in the crazy lands of the internet. Let's start off with, Drew, you talk.
Hey, this is Drew from Akihabara Renditions. I like Japanese cartoons, especially ones about baseball.
And from New York, it's
Saturday night! It is Alan, otherwise known as C-Suite from ReverseThieves.com.
And Kate, also from ReverseThieves.com. Oh, I'm Narataki. I mean, that should have been obvious, because there's only two of us on there, and if one of us is C-Suite, then the other one has to be Narataki, but I'll say that anyway.
Yes, I have brought forth this group of anime Illuminati, as it were, to talk about Cross Game because nobody else in my group likes it as much as I do.
What?
So I had to go out and find
other people.
I think
the OSMcast just got downgraded from awesome. I mean, maybe there's only like one piece that it's awesome anymore.
But now I'm the one piece of awesome, so they now have to travel down the Grand Line to get to me.
I hope that Grand Line has new friends on it.
Oh dears. But yeah, so Drew happens to be, me and Drew are both from the southeastern area of the U.S. I'm from Alabama, he's from Georgia. So we tend to do a lot of panels together, at like MTech at AWA. And so, at last Anime Week Atlanta, we did a sports panel about sports anime.
And we talked about Cross Game.
I was about to say, at any point in the podcast, in the panel, did you go, are you ready for some football?
iShow 21 is actually how I got into sports anime.
So then how could you not mention it?
Well, we did. Well, we mentioned iShow 21, and then I mentioned my antidote, which is my friend of mine, Eric, who's also regular on the podcast. He used to play football and really likes football. So I noticed there was a football anime. I was, oh snap, I have to get this. Oh man, this is so crazy. He's gonna love it. He watched it, but what the hell? This isn't football. This sucks.
Aww.
But I went, oh man, this is crazy. This is way better than actual football.
I forget how I got into sports anime. May have been Touch? Or Short Program, one of the two.
And, but it was definitely awesome when, Alan actually was like, hey, we want to do a Cross Game podcast with you. I'm like, hell yeah. Because when the OSMcast was formed, one of the things we really wanted to champion was this anime called Kakaishi. Because we really, really liked it. And so we talked about it a lot. Like, it was actually going to be our first podcast, but we were still in those early stages of learning how to actually podcast. And so we realized that the first few episodes were going to suck, so we didn't want to do Kakaishi then, so we did Kakaishi later. But we were like, Kakaishi. And then later on, Daryl Surratt was like, oh, and Reverse Thieves keep telling me this the Kakaishi thing. And I'm like, what? Reverse Thieves? Who are these people? I'm the one who taught about Kakaishi. What the hell?
Why didn't Daryl Surratt name drop me?
And so I was like, alright, well, I'm going to go to this website and see what's up. Oh, hey, these people have pretty good opinions on things. Alright, they're cool. But then when I heard you up on Cross Game, I'm like, okay, no, day one, I'm getting them in on this. That way, they realize OSMcast is all about Cross Game. Hell yes. So there we go.
That's a very nice story that I didn't know that. It's very, very heartening that somebody learned about us from that and then read our blog.
Even though General Select really doesn't like Titan. And
it's really weird because Kakashi really, I feel, is one of the best current shonen properties out there.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree.
Because I think it extols the best parts of the shonen formula while cutting out some of the
training arcs, random enemies for long, long stretches of time.
Some of like the heavier tropes that kind of weigh it down.
I've always said that I felt Kakashi was the anime I expected and wanted Inuyasha to actually be. Because I feel Yellow Tanabe has a very... She's got the same sort of feel that Takahashi does. Like, you can really see it in how Yoshimori and Tokide interact with one another. How there is this veiled sense of rivalry, but still friendship between the two. Furthermore, and their grandparents really have that going on. And there's the same sort of level of, like, comedy yet story that perpetuates Inuyasha, but actually done well. Anyways.
Oh my god, we just got into like a whole... This is another Kakashi podcast. Sorry, Drew.
Oh, well.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay.
Oddly enough, I think my first sports anime was Battle Athletes Victory.
Oh, wow.
That isn't the OVA? The
No.
OVA is better.
I actually like the TV show better, but I think it's one of those things where whichever one you watch first is the one you like better.
I guess.
It could be, yeah.
Interestingly enough, that's like the one sports anime that Eric likes, because he was like, oh man, whatever. Wait, it's in space? Sort of sealed the deal for him. But
Man's got priorities.
it's true. Anywho's, to get back things somewhat on topic, OSMcast.com. I'm sure that if you're listening to this, you have been to the website some way, somehow. So please go and check the Index of Awesome, our archives. You can always send us an email at awesomecast@gmail.com. There is also a voicemail, but I have no idea what the number is anymore, so you can look on the website for that one.
You'll lose it soon like AWO.
Well, see, I converted mine to the Google phone stuff, which never expires. So I don't have to worry about constantly calling it every week or else losing it, which is what happened for them, because I used to use the same system.
It'll be like Google Wave. It'll expire when they decide to drop it.
Shut up. Leave it alone. Like, it's still there now. Shut up, Drew. Shut up.
You don't know how this internet thing works, do you?
So anyways, there are other websites, like Drew's website.
That's right, akibarenonline.org.
So what kind of podcast is that, Drew?
.org?
Yeah, .org. .org's shit where it's at.
Makes you sound like really important, like a non-for-profit organization.
That's right, I'm not for profit, I'm just for financial loss.
Well, you do run a con, so...
Oh. Yeah, that's all about financial loss. But no, I'm here as a podcaster tonight. Akihabara Renditions, we are Japanese animation of the bubble economy. So we do a lot of classic stuff, late 70s up through the mid-90s. Because that's when the best Japanese cartoons were. And, we'll talk about manga and fan culture and other things like that. But, it's mostly all about the cartoons.
And so, that's Drew, and now for the Reverse Thieves.
We are a blog duet that talks about anime and manga, even though we were recently listed as a media mix blog and podcast.
Right, and we have a podcast. I mean, that's fairly new, but we've been a blog for about more than 3 years, but we just started the podcast this year.
And Kate really just loves to talk about Type Moon games and Galaxy Angel all the time. That's really pretty much...
Great.
Pretty much.
We've lost all of our listeners. Now they're not going to listen to anything.
Well, we still have all
what
the
we're actually about.
we still have all the Type Moon listeners. We're just going to lose them once you talk about cross game.
Yeah, they're going to be really disappointed in this episode.
I like to perpetuate the myth that Kate is a huge Type Moon fan, even though she doesn't care at all.
Yeah, I sort of always get lumped in with him, so. That doesn't seem to go the other way. Like, nobody's like, oh my god, Al's such a huge fan of Tamaki from Host Club. Like, that never happens.
Oh, it'll happen now.
You should perpetuate that. You should, say it all the time on the internet and, like, tweet about it and everything. Yeah.
Oh, it's totally getting tweeted at some point
It.
in the future when I'm not bored.
But I'm all about the dark thing from Host Club, so you're totally misrepresenting.
Because it's not misrepresenting V to say that I have any care in the world about Type Moon.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there we go. Okay, so there's all the websites, all that. Now we shall move straight on into a moment of awesome. Normally have someone sing this, but all the singers.
Moment of awesome.
Awesome!
There we go. Okay. So, who wants to start us off?
Me.
Okay, I think that was Drew.
Ouch. Ouch.
I can only say
Drew,
that
that's
because
a cute voice.
I know Drew.
Yeah, I know. It's a fucking adorable.
All right,
Can
Kate.
I go, Pete? Can I
Go.
get it? Okay, so I've been watching this show. Have you guys heard of it? It's called Sym-Bionic Titan, and it's on Cartoon Network.
Yes, I've constantly said that this is in fact the best cartoon this season.
Oh my, better than most of the anime season. I'd probably agree with most of that. But it started like, let's see, the 6th episode came out on Friday. So, it's been going for about 6 weeks. And it's an American giant robot cartoon.
By the guy who did Samurai Jack.
Yes. And Dexter or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okay,
And
now it sounds like it might be good.
What? It was already good, because I said it was. This is the OSMcast. We only talk about awesome things, right?
Except for we have Gerald on, we talk about things that we hate.
Oh, okay. Well, that is not one of these times. But it's got, it's obviously got, like, American styling of the animation, but it actually is crafting a really good robot, like, giant robot in a classic sense. These 3 aliens come to Earth. They're running from evil bad guys on their home planet, and they each turn into a robot. And then they can combine, like that's like the big climax of the first episode is they can combine to make a giant robot, and they fight monsters and try to somehow plot how to get back to their planet and destroy the evil rebels.
And I was at the first episode, I felt really kind of rushed to get to the formula, but I mean, it essentially was like everybody knows the score, but we have to give you the score so we can kind of take our time and tell stories. So I definitely say that you should wait for the second episode, because then it kind of is able to take itself in its own groove, and it really just kind of excels at using the kind of the super robot, monster of the week formula, but use that to tell a character-based, character-building stories.
Like, and Tartakovsky really understands what makes giant robots awesome. Like, they're big, they're imposing, they look like awesome, fun to play with. Like, I could totally see myself when I was a kid wanting a toy of Titan.
What? When I was a kid, I want one right now.
Like,
I will get one.
But it also understands, like, you gotta understand just the animation medium and what pop culture references will work now, and also will sort of, it works in the context of the show for longevity, but if you catch the reference, it's even more awesome. For example, one of the newer episodes, they decided randomly to have street racing. And the opening shot of the car as the kid pulls into the high school is totally, the song they're playing is totally riff off the theme song to Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
And the thing that sold me totally on the series, like, Choose was like, all right, I have to keep watching. But episode 4, and I think Kate knows what I'm talking about, utterly sold me. And it was that spot on Die Hard reference.
In the bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're using, like, one of the Lance, the, kind of standard, brooding, rebel guy. He decides to become a vigilante, and he stops these guys using a laser to break into a vault, just like how they were using a laser to break into the Nakatomi Plaza vault in Die Hard. And just all the guys in the gang are clearly members of, the criminal, the people who took the building hostage in Die Hard. And it's subtle enough that they don't beat you over to the head with the fact that it's a Die Hard reference, but anybody who's seen Die Hard knows what they're going for, and it was just really well done.
Yeah, it's actually something I saw very well done in actually Scott Pilgrim. Like, Scott Pilgrim does a really good job of, there is a reference. Yeah, you can totally skip over the reference and it's fine, it's context of the story. But if you get the reference, it makes it even more awesome than it was before. And Titan does a really good job of doing that.
I've not seen this show, but it sounds really good.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen it, man. It's like,
when's it come
totally
on?
Worth it. It's on Friday nights. But they put the week before's episode is on the Cartoon Network website, so you can watch it.
Okay,
that's how I've been watching it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out on the website because Friday night's usually occupied.
Wow, cooler than me.
I don't know about that.
Okay, I'm done talking about Sym-Bionic Titan. It's awesome, it's awesome, it's awesome. That's why it belongs on this podcast.
All right, so who's next?
That was really menacing. I don't know if anybody wants to go next now.
Now, who's next?
You go, and then I go, so it's reverse Steve, somebody else, reverse Steve, somebody else.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll go. So Basil, how about that season finale of Mad Men?
I
know.
Was nuts.
No, I'm still coming down from that. So I really don't have a whole lot I've been watching lately. I've got some laser discs sitting in the corner that I got at AWA back at the end of September. Like Dirty Pair Project Eden and Spirit of Wonder. So I've been thinking about watching those and haven't gotten around to it yet. But I'm going to talk about a book because I'm a cultured son of a bitch. Book I've been reading right now is Under the Loving Care of the Fatherly Leader. It's written by a journalist who used to work for the Baltimore Sun, and his several journeys into North Korea and meeting with the party elite and a general history of North Korea and Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and it's really interesting.
That sounds
wow,
cool.
That's some heavy reading.
Yeah, it's a fairly large book. I've been reading it off and on for the past, I think, 4 years. Let's see what.
My quick question is, are you against ripping things that you own?
That would depend. Like, what do I need to rip?
I am sure that Daryl Surratt would be extremely happy if you were to rip Project Eden, because he's been looking for somebody with a good quality copy of Project Eden. Because I know he wanted to.
Yeah, if I can find a way to hook my Laserdisc player up to my computer and he'll accept an untranslated Laserdisc, then yeah,
because he wants to put the old streamlined dub, but with a laser disc or DVD rip of the movie. So I know he would be extremely appreciative if you would just give him a video rip of that.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Figure out all the other equipment I need. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I could swing that. Let's see what else has been going on. So I've been listening to a CD that a friend of mine turned me on to called Girl Talk Murders Seattle.
Hey, he's talking about more than one thing, and you said I couldn't talk about more than one thing.
Oh, Drew, yeah, you're right.
Oh,
but the problem is, I want to hear about this Girl Talk thing, because Girl Talk's an awesome group.
Oh, Girl Talk's awesome, yeah. Yeah, Girl Talk is awesome. But yeah, no, just go find Girl Talk on the internet. Let him speak for himself. Don't let me ruin it for you.
Wait, what is it? I don't know what that is.
He's a music performer of sorts. Does a lot of like
mashups.
Mashups, yeah. Blending a couple different songs together. Really good on like live shows.
One of his newest mashup album is called Feed the Animals. And I listened to that straight up for like 2 months and nothing else. Like it's what he puts together. He'll put together like 5 songs together in one song, and they'll be completely different sounds that you didn't think would actually work, but actually does. I sometimes wonder if he has like a roulette that he chooses these songs with and goes, okay, now I have these. How did I make it work? And he does.
It sounds like a fun game to play with him. Like, take these and make something great out of them. That sounds like fun.
And I guarantee you he would. Like, it's amazing.
I've got Allman Brothers, P. Diddy, and Hino. What can you make?
Oh man, he could do it too.
And it'd be awesome.
It would. It'd be amazing. All right. Next detective, step up to the plate.
Okay, do you want to just steal my spot to talk about something else, or?
No, go ahead.
All right, then I was going to talk about Star Driver.
God damn it!
You took his.
No, my first was Titan.
Oh.
My second was Star Driver.
That's what you get for saying I could only talk about one thing.
Or I could talk about something else.
No, talk about Star Driver. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, because we all want to talk about Star Driver.
All right. I heard that the ratings. The reason I popped this in my head is I've been watching a lot of stuff, but I heard the ratings in Japan are horrible, and nobody's streaming it yet. So I want to get the buzz up, so somebody like Funimation picks it up, and so we can get wonderful DVDs and watch it streaming and all the goodness. It's
so weird. It's a Bones mecha show from the scripter composition guy who does Utena and the director of Host Club.
It's just Utena with robots as far as I'm concerned. I mean, not in a bad rip-off way or anything, but literally that's what it is.
It feels much more like, have y'all ever seen a show called Melody of Oblivion?
Yes.
Like, for me, it has much more overtones of that.
But Melody of Oblivion is a rip-off of Utena.
Well, it's written by the same guy. It's not Ikehara, but the series composition writer, the actual guy who wrote the actual individual bits and story composition for Melody of Oblivion is the same person who does Star Driver. And so I think that's why it's so similar.
But I just remember in the first episode when the first guy goes into his side body and how the music plays. It reminded me of Utena. When Zekai. What's the song? The song when they go up the elevator song.
Yeah, it's Absolute Destiny Apocalypse.
Yes, Absolute Destiny Apocalypse. It just reminded me of that, and the fact that it was a green-haired guy who got beat. I was like, "Hey, Soonji, what's up?"
I didn't make that connection that they started off with a green-haired guy getting beat up. But see, he's a boxer, not a swordsman, so that
100% different.
Yeah, but Takuto's robot is a fencer. Like, it looks like a fencer. It, moves like a fencer. I mean, it's certainly I think it's definitely referencing it. And then, like, in the third episode, they do have a sword fight.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I found it really, it had a lot of the things that appealed to me about Utena while being also a decent, if not very good, Bones Mecha show as well.
Well, I think what's so great about the show is that, like, you don't know where the hell it's going. Like, could you just predict what's going to happen in the next episode? Not really. Like, no idea.
I don't know. I think you have a general idea of how at least the format is going to go at this point, where there is a person, they're going to have an issue or a problem, and it's going to be worked out, but within the context of a mecha battle.
Yeah, but that's not the story.
Well, no, but usually once I introduce the characters, I know more or less how it's going to play out.
I guess I just feel like, though, like, plot-wise is what I'm talking about. Like,
True.
Besides the fact that, you know, like, there's going to be a robot battle, but, like, what the hell does that even mean? And, like, where does that make everybody stand in relation to each other? And, like, it's just like, I don't know what's going on or how everybody is so weird. But, you know.
I definitely think this is one of those shows where the journey is more important possibly than the destination.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely enjoyable. It feels very much like it's almost a magical girls show, but done in the way of giant robots, but the main character's a dude.
It's a big mashup. It's probably, maybe it's like that Girl Talk. It's like that. It's like smashed all together.
No, everybody Girl Talk doesn't give me a headache.
I'm gonna
Wait, Star Driver gives you a headache?
I haven't seen the show, so I'm listening to the description that's going on right now, and I keep getting, like, images of G Gundam and Utena all kind of mishmashed together. And
that's a good.
That's good.
That's actually more or less. That's very similar. With overtones of Shinji Aramaki in the design work.
Oh,
so wait, does that
all of a sudden I feel a lot better.
Yeah, I just bring it back in.
Yeah.
Wait, does this mean that the love, I forgot the name of the last attack in G Gundam. Does that mean that's going to be what wins the day in Star Driver?
Probably.
That'd be awesome.
I can imagine that love wins the day. Yeah.
All right, so thinking about it, and I just happened to acquire a set of episodes of the 2003 Astro Boy cartoon that are actually subtitled in Japanese. And I won't say how I came about this. I'm sure it was in a very legal manner. I'm sure.
Mm.
But it's been really, really neat to watch because it is very much Astro Boy, but with, super expensive animation behind it from Sony. And it is really just really fun to just watch Astro Boy fly about. And it's like, oh man, this is modern animation. This is crazy.
How much have you seen Dr. Tenma?
A good bit. He's actually sort of pitched as the villain. And so usually he's in the background going, "Oh, Tobio, I'm going to do something mean to you." Mwahahaha.
Because I remember Fred Schott wasn't too thrilled with their portrayal of Dr. Tenma in the new series. Like, that was his main criticism.
Well, it's very much, I've always gotten, he's always a dark doctor. No reference to Blackjack at this point. But, he's maybe somewhat immoral, but never downright evil, whereas he definitely has he has sort of the evil villain it's behind in the shadows, at least the beginning of the series. Like I said, I've only watched the first few episodes, but I think it's the next thing I'm going to do whenever I'm bored and I need 30 minutes to kill. I'm going to be watching more episodes of Astro Boy.
Isn't the 2003 one the series that has the episode with the bears that the bear and Pluto is based on?
Possibly. Like I said, I've only watched the 3 episodes.
Okay, you watch out for that bear episode. It's really creepy.
Oh,
That's like the only episode of that. I think it's the 2003 version that I've ever watched.
no, but I have heard rumors that Pluto might be getting a live-action movie made of it, which will be interesting. It's not what I would have hoped for, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious enough. I have enough. I'm positive about it if that happens.
Like, I think Pluto is one of the best ways to get into Urasawa, just because it's only 8 graphic novels, so it's not that hard to get a hold of and read from beginning to end.
And the whole being brilliant thing works well.
Well, I mean, it's Urasawa. I mean, he's a kind of brilliant dude.
Except for when it get happy.
Well, there's a reason why you can't find that. But you can find, like, everything else.
So does Pluto have like a subject matter that could translate well into live action, or?
If you gave it an American movie budget, yes.
So out of Japan, hell no.
I don't think so. I mean, I mean, there's lots of robots and high future. I mean, it's still very much, set in the world of Astro Boy, but more realistic, which means it's going to even be harder to properly do in CG.
Right.
Which you're going to have to, and I really just don't think Japan could put the money into it that's required to really make it sing like it really needs to.
Well, but a lot of the robot battles happen off screen, because that's how they keep Pluto kind of mysterious for so long.
Yeah, I feel like the most essential part of the story is really like this mystery element. And yes, of course, it would be awesome if it was, had these great special effects to like keep it on par with that. But I feel like the essential parts of the story are really character based and centered around this mystery. And that's the most important part to me, is that they make it that's what I'm, wanting to see out of it.
Yeah, because really the only real fight we see in full is the last battle between.
But that's a really important one.
Oh yeah, but that's where you can spend most of your that's the only part you really have to sink.
That's true, because most of the robots look like people, so you don't really have to convince anybody that they're robots otherwise.
I'm just worried because, for example, you can pull out the Japanese effects tend to have a certain level of pop to them naturally, which really works for things like, for example, the live-action Cutie Honey movie. The level of CG and the camp just inherent in that Go Nagai work really worked well. Like, I thought it was a great adaptation. I have a feeling that Pluto is just so gosh darn serious that it'll take away from it.
I can see what you mean, because I felt like 20th Century Boys worked, but that series has an amount of quirk and comedy to it, even though it does have really creepy, serious stuff going on. But Pluto doesn't really have that.
Like, Pluto plays it pretty straight through the entire thing. There's not much in the way of actual humor, at all in it. I would actually I'd love to see, say, an adaptation of Billy Bat. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, I've not actually read that yet, because I just assumed that it would get licensed.
Oh, I'm sure, in fact, it already has been. I have a feeling they're just waiting till 20th Century Boys gets closer to be wrapping up in the manga form before they start giving us Billy Bat. I've only read the first book or two, but it's crazy conspiracy theory. It's going to be good when we actually get a hold of it. I thought he was crazy with 20th Century Boys. No. He's just getting started with that one. What they're doing with Billy Bat, he's just, it's off the rails.
I heard it's very, how the Billy Bat comic is, integral to the actual, mystery that's going on and back and forth, how they almost seem to be, influencing each other.
Sort of, yeah. Okay. This comic eventually goes into biblical times. I'm not going to say how, but it does. Like, so it has conspiracy theories going down to the death of Christ. And that's where I'm going to stop saying any spoiler about that.
Is it really a spoiler that Jesus dies?
But it's not about Jesus, it's about Judas. Okay, now I'm done.
Oh. Now you've piqued my interest.
Like, it's good stuff. But, so, okay, apparently my moment of awesome is in fact Billy Bat. Please come out sometime. So speaking of manga, I guess we should start in on the actual conversation with a quick musical interlude. Then we're going to talk about Cross Game. So, I had mentioned earlier in the wonderful conversation that Drew and I ran a sports panel at Anime Week in Atlanta. And one of the things that I wanted to make clear when we started the panel is that my belief is that a lot of people refer to sports anime as its own genre, or at least treat it as its own genre, and that is wrong. Sports anime, won't say that it's a medium, but sports anime as a genre is not quite genuine because you can have any other genre be sports anime. Like, if you like to watch a lot of people, beat each other up all the time, go watch Hajime no Ippo. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that's true of sports for lack of a better word, as a genre in other media such as film or books or anything like that, in that, a lot of times it's more about character drama and character interaction, and it can be easily shoehorned into another genre demographic, if you will, and just sports are a vehicle that drives all of that interaction and that drama to pull you into the story.
That, and also I believe that any person who says, I don't like sports anime, they probably watched the Mighty Ducks when they were a kid.
What's wrong with Mighty Ducks?
Nothing. I'm saying that they liked it, and they probably would like this stuff too if they would actually give it a chance.
Ah, okay.
But, for example, for Shoujo, Aim for the Ace.
Yeah.
I actually rewatched the movie the other day, and it's awesome. Like...
And I know,
go ahead.
and I know... Oh, yeah, I know Kate will wax poetic about Swan any day of the week.
Oh, man, Swan was awesome.
It's the best shonen fighting anime, not anime, there was not an anime. It's best shonen fighting manga ever.
Like, it's about, figure skating. That's correct, right?
No.
No, it's ballet. It's like the same thing. One's on ice, one's not.
That is so wrong. Mr. Well, sports isn't a genre, being all specific about that, but
No.
ice skating and ballet, totally the
No,
same
what's
thing.
wrong is cosplay on ice, Drew.
I'm just a co-sponsor.
Okay.
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Professor Layton that was on ice.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I mean, sports is not its own thing because it's really just, I mean, I watch it for character drama. So, and there's all different kinds of, I mean, like the difference is just in baseball anime alone are huge. You can go from Cross Game to Taisho Baseball Girls, which is like
Awful.
kind of, excuse me?
Awful. It's cute girls.
Fantastic.
It's cute girls doing cute baseball things so they can sell
It's
more
a
body
really-
pillows.
It's a really great show based on a series of novels, not like for creepy people or anything. A really nice series, well done. And then you go to something like One Outs, which is like crazy gambling baseball.
Yeah.
Or Star of the Giants with the crazy spin where
Hey, no.
the guy jumps
Yeah.
up in the air and does a drill attack to steal bases.
Yeah, Star of the Giants is a good time.
Or even stuff like, Major, which is probably a little bit more baseball focused.
Yeah, I think Major is probably one of the more serious baseball manga anime that's out there, or at least that's been running in probably the past 15 years. There was another show I watched called Play Ball, which is kind of like T-ball. It's really aimed for a much younger demographic, but it's still fairly serious as far as baseball goes. But I think Major is probably the most serious one running right now.
And then you have like the classic stuff where it's as much about the parents beating their children as anything else.
Again, brings us back to Kyoji Nohoshi. He's a Star of the Giants. That's, in fact, abuse through sports, I think, is one of Japan's national pastimes, right up there with cheating on your spouse. So, yeah, a lot of sports anime and sports manga, you're going to find stuff like that. Hard work and guts, will show you through.
And the reason why we're talking sort of wax philosophically on sports animation in general is because the title we're about to talk about is, well, sports manga and anime, which is Cross Game by
Adachi Mitsuru.
There we go. I told Drew otherwise I was going to say Mitsuru Adachi, and because I'm American, that's how I talk.
I'm here to make you look cultured.
That's right.
And he's kind of old hat at baseball manga, although this is his latest baseball manga, although I think there is some elements of baseball in his newest work. But he's kind of famous for his baseball manga, especially with Touch and H2.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think he once tried to do stuff that was in sports, and it didn't do well at all. And I think that he was like, man, then F it. And then he came up with Cross Game. Everyone's like, okay, we love you again.
Well, he's also done a few boxing manga, I'm sorry. And he did a boxing / baseball manga as well.
Slow Step.
Yes.
Oh, Slow Step. Okay. Yeah. I started watching the OAV for Slow Step and haven't quite made it through yet. I'm trying to think. But yeah, he's done manga on like all sorts of sports. Mostly his baseball stuff will be kind of the shonen demographic, so they'll run in like Shonen Sunday. But if you look at some of his seinen work, like Rough, I think Rough ran in a seinen magazine, which is about swimming. God, I'm trying to remember what other ones there are. I'm drawing a complete total blank, looking like a schlub. Anyway, yeah, he's been doing sports anime or sports manga for the past 30 years.
He even did a shoujo. He did Pair of Aces in Weekly Shoujo Comic.
Huh.
Well, I mean, this guy's been doing stuff for years, too. Like, this man is, well, okay, no one's ever a machine like Tetsuka was a machine, but he's kind of a machine.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he's also done a lot of just shonen romance, like Short Program. I remember, I think you really like Short Program, Nikki.
Yeah, I really like Short Program. There is some of the short stories in there do involve sports, but not heavily. And a lot of them are just little one-offs. Some of them are not so romantic, though.
Maybe
There's one about a stalker. So, like, it's not always happy, cute little stories.
What are you talking about? Stalking's totally romantic.
Well, in this day and age.
I mean, I just want to protect her and be her older brother. That's what moe means, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So anyway, something that's not moe and actually awesome is Cross Game.
Hooray!
So,
Hooray!
Yay!
yeah, that's right. You cheer this shit. So Cross Game is about two people. One person is named Ko, and the other person is named another name.
Hazel, I think you forgot to turn off your robot switch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this better now? There we go.
Oh, that's good. There you go.
Okay,
Good.
cool.
Her name is Alba.
Yeah. Yes, Alba and Ko. Childhood friends.
The three people, Alba, Ko, and Wakaba.
Well, I don't know if
Yeah, because this show really, really focuses on Wakaba quite a bit.
it really does, and I really don't know if you could say Ko and Alba are childhood friends.
Frenemies.
As he is, yeah, more like rivals.
I don't know if I don't rival is the right word.
Yeah, I like frenemies.
Yeah, frenemies probably does work best.
Because they're not really competing for the same thing.
Well, no, they are. It's the affections of Wakaba.
Oh, that's kind of true.
The series starts off in grade school, then continues on in high school, where they introduce the main trio, as it were. Well, a lot of the base characters, they start them off in grade school, and they show you how the initial interplay is between all the various characters, which are able to then grow upon in the high school setting.
And I think it adds for a little bit of depth and surprise, to who they sort of become, rather than like flashing back or something. Like seeing them small and then going big, as opposed to just telling us how they were, I think really works.
It does, and actually, it's interesting. And one of the differences between the manga and the anime is that the anime, the first episode is just them as they are younger, and then they go back in flashbacks to tell you about the younger parts. Whereas in the manga, while they do occasionally do flashbacks, the entire first volume is set in the grade school era, and so you get a lot of stuff before it actually become flashbacks as they're used in the anime.
Isn't it like called Part 1, and then after certain events, Part 2 is, several years later?
Sort of. It's more or less just, yeah. Which is, I mean, pretty much Volume 1 is just the prologue, and then Volume 2 is where they actually started in junior to high school. So I guess you could call it Part 1 and Part 2, but it really just feels like Volume 1 and then continuing volumes.
Yeah, I think the internet has taken up the whole Part 1, Part 2 moniker. I don't recall reading the manga volumes I got from Japan, seeing a strict delineation at the end of, or at the beginning of Volume 2. They were like, okay, here is Part 2. It was just, I think it was something that kind of came after the fact.
Yeah, because when you think about it, I mean, Part 1's really, really little, and Part 2's really, really big.
Well, that's because in Part 1 they're very little. And then they get big.
I see.
Logic, guys, logic.
Yes, Kate explains it all.
Yeah.
But no, I'm all about the hot-blooded youth. What are you talking about? I don't need no logic. Oh man, I wish I was hot-blooded youth. Not cold-blooded, decrepit old man. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, you've got the two main characters. Ko Kitamura, his family owns a shopping goods store or a sporting goods store, and then Alba and Wakaba as well are part of a set of four sisters, and they are part of a part cafe, part batting cage combination. And so so the two families have constant interplay because they get all their sporting goods from Ko's family store, and so they're always, interacting with one another.
And weren't they pretty much born at the same time, a la Touch, and thereby...
Yeah.
Yeah, Ko and Wakaba were born on the same day.
Yes.
And the parents, all the parents in the show, while they don't play heavily into it, they're all friends and they kind of all know each other and talk to each other, so that also gives them a lot more interaction, so...
Well, you'd also notice that, I think it's one of those more Japanese things that all the parents and the stuff, all these kids, they all own shops. And so they all sort of talk to each other because they're all in the same, set of businesses in the same, neighborhood, town area. Which is something I see a lot in anime when they tend to have focused on people who, own businesses. There's the sort of the town business coalition and stuff. Which I don't really get into, but it still that same sort of feeling of all the parents knowing each other.
And so, should we throw away the big?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't that come after the spoilers section?
Okay. Yeah.
Suffice to say, there is an event that changes everyone's opinions on pretty much everything, and that's when they move on to the actual main gist of the story, which takes place a few years, 4 years later. And junior than high school.
And it's about baseball.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about Ko's dream to do the thing that all school baseball is about, which is win Koshien.
Mm.
Well, it's his dream. It's sort of that he's given the dream. As a several people, a person sort of puts everything into play. And so it's kind of how this person sort of starts a little snowball that starts off in grade school, and then by the point it actually gets into high school, it's become a much grander avalanche that sort of whisks everyone away into Koshin.
But but you're totally right. I absolutely agree with that. But I think in the event of trying to fulfill this dream for somebody else, they all want the dream too. It's not I never feel like the characters feel put upon
no.
to fulfill this. It's something that it's given to them, but then it also becomes so much of a part of them that they want it just as much.
I think it's also more importantly, it's a uniting dream. This is, because it's not just one person's dream, it's a dream of everybody involved in the series.
Right.
It binds them together.
And it brings together people who would have normally been conflicted and not really necessarily been open to each other and working together.
Yeah, you see kids, some of the kids, and when they're in grade school, they're enemies, where when you move on, you discover they're actually really good friends. And it's all because of this dream.
I was going to say, and of course, along the way, they make other new friends and other new enemies, and kind of all expand their relationships, and basically who gets caught up in the dream.
Oh yeah, this is very much a character drama that just happens to include baseball as sort of as a theme that they can draw upon and use to the ends of the character drama. I have a feeling they could have used anything else besides baseball to do it. Just, Adachi really knows baseball, so it works really well.
And Adachi really knows character interaction, too.
He does. Like, there's so many times, like, they'll do these just subtle things, like, Ko will say, oh. And just that one syllable word, it speaks like 5 paragraphs worth of material, and I immediately understand, I immediately get it. All from, like, a syllable. And it's crazy that he can pull that off.
Or even, not even a syllable, but silence. Like,
yeah.
The action of doing nothing actually has a lot of weight in this show.
He's really good at subtlety. And I think subtlety is such that, most people can pick up on it. I don't think it takes like a genius to figure things out. And
I think with Adachi's work, his subtlety is obvious.
It is, but it works really well. That's amazing that someone can make something that's obvious but still good. It's pretty impressive.
I was just me and Kate have recently been complaining, I forgot what Les brought it up, of how certain people on the internet seem to be immune to subtlety, no matter how obvious your subtlety is. But it is something I feel people really crave. And when you pick up on it and when you let yourself notice, things not have to be beat into your head, it really enhances the experience.
And you can really tell, this is something also I feel is important that it builds upon itself. It's not just where, he does settle point A to settle point B, but also then goes to C, D, and goes through the whole alphabet a couple of times. Like, nothing ever just lies fallow. Everything is always built upon constantly. Like, nothing ever stops building upon each other. Which really builds, these characters, into actual people. Where I feel like if, they were, brought into real life, they would still be real people and they could interact just fine.
Okay, so could we talk about the baseball? Because,
oh yeah,
I think Adachi writes good baseball intensity. And so even though, as you said, like, it could be any sport or anything could be the catalyst for how this all comes together. But I think that, like, he is good at writing baseball. He is good at writing, the interaction between the team and, like, coming together and creating suspense when you're watching a game. Like, I get really into the baseball when I watch Cross Game. I was really heavily interested in, the rivalries and, would they win this game, and all that. So I think even though it's certainly a character drama, like, the baseball is a great part of it. It's not totally extraneous.
Oh, no, I totally agree. Like, I think it's one of the things where I think without the baseball, it would have been an 8. With the baseball, it's a 10. Like, This is, the baseball really just, while it doesn't need it, it definitely uses it to the best of all of its advantages.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The interactions during the baseball matches themselves are, it's one of those things that you use the sport as a catalyst to fuel the character drama, but Adachi goes back and pulls the character drama to pull you into the actual sports action that's going on in a way that you don't find in a lot of other sports anime. So it's definitely using the game to its full advantage as a catalyst.
And I remember, like, certain games, because they're not Yuwara, as much as I love that show, where you're 99% sure she's going to win or lose by some unimportant, like, technicality. Like, the best sports anime are the ones where you're never sure if they're going to win or not.
And it's because they lose all the time.
Right, yeah, that's actually one of the great things about the team is just that they're not on top. They are, maybe that's actually very common in sports anime to be the sort of the struggling underdogs. So.
Well, it makes it so much easier to root for them when they are the underdogs.
Which is like the complete opposite of real life. Well, not the complete opposite, but like I feel like teams that win all the time have lots and lots and lots of fans.
I don't know. I'm a Cubs fan, so.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Winning? I have no idea what you speak of.
So I'm the wrong person to ask about that question.
Well, but if you think about like the most, I mean, obviously the most popular and well-known teams are always going to be the ones that win all the time. What's the most famous baseball team in the U.S.? Like Yankees, you know, and like they win constantly. So.
But everyone's freaking out because the Rangers are going to the World Series.
Oh, I'm not saying that like they never lose. I'm just saying that like, you know, like their history and their record is like they win so much, and that's why they're the most famous and have the most fans. I mean, that's just natural. But in sports anime, you don't want the team to be the winners. Like, well, you want them to be the losers that can then become the winners.
Well, it's true, but like I said, like at least in my area, which is of course Alabama, everyone's now talking about the Rangers, and we're not an area that really talks about baseball. But because suddenly this team out of nowhere they weren't expecting to go to the World Series is going to the World Series, they're now talking about it. I think it's very similar to the Red Sox when they won. Like, no one was expecting it, but when it happened, everyone freaked out.
Yeah, I think it's definitely really exciting. So sports anime is just picking up on that all the time.
Yeah, like...
Yeah. And it's okay if your team starts out as a loser and then they get better so that they are winning. That's where I see a lot of sports anime go.
Well, but Japan also likes to have the team lose in the end. That's like their most favorite thing to do. Not that that necessarily happens here, but like, they love to have this, you know, the team get all the way to the big thing and then lose.
Like Rocky syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I can see that, yeah. I'm just, immediately when I hear losing Japanese sports teams, I think of, Hanshin Tigers out of Osaka. And, yeah, those fans don't like to see them lose. It's a shame they're just so bad they can't win.
They have really devoted fans, so.
Yes,
they're
they
Lummus,
do.
their mascot. So that's why they have to be cool.
But also, one of the things about the team is that, you know, they start off as not a good team. Like, they have a couple of good players, and Ko is a very good pitcher, and a pretty decent hitter, but most everyone else, you know, they need a lot of work, and they have to fight against people who are built from the ground up to be really good teams. And so you really do feel for them when they actually do get better and they actually are able to take them on mano a mano. And then you actually get to watch the team, you know, build up with getting newer and better players, and the existing players get better as they actually start going towards Koshin. Like, it's really, he does a really good job of building everything up with the team and the people who make up the team.
Should we talk about the romance?
Oh yeah, that's important too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. People love each other.
It happens occasionally.
The end.
Well, there's definitely a lot of interplay. I mean, a lot of the kind of drama is centered around this will they, won't they sort of game that's going on. And, you know, I mean, that is signature Adachi, is to blend the sports with not just character drama, but romantic drama. And, you know, there's obviously there's a main love story, but there's also a few side players here and there, you know, a couple of romantic rivals. And, but I think it's generally a very straightforward, slow building romance that you know, you're right? Like, it's like, you know what's gonna happen.
But you don't. You're right. It's really slow. Like, it's almost something that it's there, but it's always on the back burner. Like, they never make it a front and center thing until near the end, where people have these, you know, relationships with each other, not in a romantic sense, but just personally between the individual people. And some people start going one way, other people start going other ways, but then they might swerve around like people do, and then they introduce new characters, which entirely changes the mix-up entirely. And eventually it all probably does go back to the point where you think it's going to, But until that point, you sort of don't, it could go in, because it's a back burner thing, you don't know which way it's going to go. It can go any of the different ways it could possibly go.
Okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe I have read one too many romance comics in my day, but like I have to disagree. I think Cross Game didn't fool me for 1 minute about what was going to happen.
Should have mentioned Toradora.
Like, not at all.
Should have mentioned Toradora, Kate. All I can remember is people who were thrown off by Toradora. They're like, I don't know who Luigi is gonna end up with. I'm like, what? Did you not look at the title of this anime? Did you think he was going to end up with the teacher?
Well, say for like, one of the things that I thought was one of the things like when Akane shows up.
Please!
Like, she sort of throws a wrench into things.
She does, but like, I would say that there was no way you were going to convince me that she was anything. I mean, she actually ends up being important emotionally, but like, as far as a romantic rival goes, I was like, really? You want me to believe that's gonna be a romantic rival? This is just the normal thing that happens in romantic dramas, is that you throw in an extraneous love interest that you know as the viewer they're never going to end up with.
Her name might as well have been Red Herring, and it might have been a pup named Scooby-Doo.
I mean, I think it ends up being interesting what does happen to her, but as far as like that romantic rivalry goes, like, I don't know. There was no way that I was fooled.
I don't know, I guess it was one of the things I didn't really see anyone as anyone else's romantic rivals. Like, it was more, what's Ko gonna do? Like, whether or not...
I knew what Ko was gonna do. That's what I mean.
But, well, it was whether he actually had the balls to actually step up to the plate, as it were.
Step up to the plate. Nice.
Yeah. So we're back to the whole baseball thing? Yeah.
I see what you
Bringing
did
it
there.
home.
That's right. So, I can see how it, like I said, it eventually goes back to it, but I thought he threw enough curveballs to...
You need to stop.
Yeah, quit while you're ahead.
Alright, no more stealing bases. Anyways.
Oh.
Man, you were so close to hitting it out of the park.
This could go on forever. Stop now while you're both alive.
I say.
Right. We'll stop fouling it up.
Oh man, this whole thing was just a big error. I don't know why we...
Okay, that was just a swing and a miss. So, there's other characters too.
Yes, lots of them.
Like Yuhei.
Oh, Ozma! Yes.
Yes, Ozma Yuhei.
Ozma, he's the best, actually. You should be a fan of him when you watch this series. He's a batter, and he's a first baseman, and he's a badass.
So So there are many characters, of course, that need to form the baseball team, which are most of the characters that you interact, especially most of the males, I guess. And Ozma eventually becomes their ace hitter.
But I think he's an interesting case because he is not one of the childhood friends.
No, he's one of the
new guy.
He's one of the new people who show up, but he shows up pretty quickly once you actually get into the junior high school portion.
Yeah, and I love his friendship with Ko. I think that relationship is really nicely done throughout the series, where they sort of like kind of get thrown together and then they start to tolerate each other and then they actually become friends. But it's never, I don't know, it's once again one of those slow building things. It's never like all of a sudden they're friends. It's just little things here and there, and then, it's just a nice build up, I think.
Yeah, it's very quiet. Nobody ever mentions it directly, but like you said, it's a thing of what is said and what isn't said. Like how certain things stop being said and certain things start being said, and it's just noticing that that really kind of shows you the friendship that they develop.
Or even just little things like, if somebody's looking for him, he'll go look for him, or, it's just little things every now and then that really builds them up. And he's the best. Ozma's the best.
Or the whole Ozma's whole thing that he only remembers the names of anybody who's important.
Not a rival, but like a...
worth watching.
Yeah. In baseball. Right.
So, but he remembers like Ko's name like right off the bat. That was totally unintentional. I perhaps have a tendency towards puns and thereby made it.
And then you have guys. Well, I would say the best is in some ways Akaishi.
Yeah, I really like him too, so that's okay. You can say that.
Like he's.
You didn't say Senda.
Oh, Senda's interesting, and I'll get into Senda in a bit. But Akaishi is he's the catcher on the team, and he's one of the neat ones because he starts off as Ko's rival, as it were, in a sense, because he also liked Wakaba, probably almost, if not more so than Ko did. Well, okay, probably as much, maybe not as much.
They liked them in different ways, I think. They had different relationships and almost a different sort of love.
Well, Ko had the relationship that Akaishi wanted with Wakaba. But, eventually he learns to put it, aside and instead decides to sort of take, Ko on as almost as a project to win the dream that we alluded to earlier.
He really reminds me of, did anybody here read Touch?
I'm familiar with Touch.
The guy from the boxing club.
Harada?
Yeah, he reminded me of Harada, but he was different enough to be his own character. But the way that he kind of starts off as a rival and has kind of similar romantic interests as the main character, but eventually becomes a kind of one of his biggest supporters.
Well, yeah, once he grows up, he decides that, he sort of keeps putting Ko ahead of him. Like, he decides that, his job is to be a support character, not a main character, to his own detriment sometimes. Like, he'll actively do things where he's like, no, Ko, you should do this thing, because it's not my place to.
Yeah, I think that definitely comes up as a major issue later in the series. And I think that comes to the forefront, and then they have to deal with it, and it sort of changes things a little bit, if you know what I'm talking about, without spoilers.
Right. And then you have, I always say Nakaishi, but it's Nakanishi, who is the other, sort of the other burly guy who's a member of the team, who is one of Ko's friends from grade school.
But also one of his tormentors from grade school as well.
Well, they have very much a sort of I don't want to say love-hate, but love annoy you out of friendship relationship. They like to rib each other.
Definitely.
Where, he's one of the guys, Ko, when he's a kid, talks him into buying baseball uniforms for their baseball team when they really didn't have to, because Ko wanted to make business for his family. And then Ko tried to get out of playing baseball. He's like, what? No, we bought your stuff. Now you have to play with us. You don't get a choice.
Yeah, I think it's very rare that I like the protagonist as my favorite character, but in Cross Game, I think it's definitely going to be Ko. Or it definitely is Ko, I should say.
Ko is actually probably my favorite character too, but he's definitely he's almost a loose cannon to things that he'll do. He's like, I'm going to do this thing. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
He definitely has a whimsical spirit.
Yeah. definitely embodies whimsy at times.
Mm.
But I think I'm with Kate on Team Azuma.
That's right.
Although I don't know, maybe the best character is in fact Senda. I don't know. I mean,
No.
he's
You get off this podcast.
Kate's the new owner of the Awesome.
I am. I'm taking over. I have to. Because obviously it just got too unawesome.
okay. This is something that happens in the manga, which I wish could have happened in the anime, but I understand why it didn't. In the manga, whenever they introduce a character, there's a little box that they have that says who they are and what they do. And there's only one character who doesn't get this, and that is Senda himself. And he constantly complains to his co, give my introduction. And the co is constantly, no, you're not worth the page space.
Truth.
And in the very end of that chapter, Sola goes to Alba, goes, hey, someone put some poster up on the wall, and it was Senda's own introduction, box, where he introduces himself as the main, most important character, and which, you could see, Adachi, crossing out main and going, not, or writing in not the most important main character. Like, it was one of those, sort of fourth wall breaking things, which actually Adachi does several times in the manga that you don't actually get to see in the anime, but he very much understands that Senda likes to think he's the most important guy, but really isn't. Which, he's sort of the guy they like to sort of like kick around, but, they always keep him around.
He totally has it coming though every single time.
Well, he does.
Like,
it's
not like he's just this nice guy that everybody bullies. It's like, no.
He distinctly has foot and mouth syndrome.
Yeah.
And by his own design, almost.
Well, I mean, I would even say his mouth's big enough that he's able to fit both feet. But it's amazing how he keeps walking in spite of this. I mean, and that's what makes him, lovable in a sense, because you're like, oh, you're so stupid. But that's okay, you are stupid.
Every village needs an idiot.
It's true, and he does a very good job. And then there's the coach, which I feel we have to mention the coach, because he's very important.
He's also really awesome.
Well, exactly.
He's secretly awesome. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, Daimon, he was my favorite coach.
He was secretly evil, or not so secretly evil.
No. That coach was straight up like, I am the first main villain.
Yes.
But the actual coach.
Real coach.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that he's secretly awesome. Like, everybody totally underestimates him and thinks that he's, like, too old and, doesn't know enough anymore. And, but he's really training them. And he gets wrapped up in the dream, too. It's very beautiful.
And, his name is Sentaro Mano, which they never really talk to him. They always refer to him as coach, so that's why I always know him as. But when you ask her, like, hey, I haven't seen a good dream lately. Been a while. Can you show me a good dream? And by dream, he wants to see awesome baseball happen. And so just by asking people to show him a dream, everyone's like, all right, time to step up. It's time for real reels, not for play plays. And he's also just a really good coach.
He almost kind of has a Tyler, it looks like I'm not really trying kind of, but there's really much more going on underneath the surface kind of shtick with him.
Yes, but unlike Tyler, which almost feels like he's more of an idiot savant at it, this guy totally knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Every step of the way, like, he knows exactly what he needs to do to make something happen. And so he does just enough. He's almost like the embodiment of subtlety in the show.
You know what? A better example would be Goto from Pat Labor, the head of Division 2.
Yeah, I can see that.
Normally when you give examples,
Oh.
it's supposed to be like something the people listening to this podcast would know.
Look, one person, like if Tim Wan listens, he'll be like, Alan, very clever.
It's like the example's supposed to make it easier, but the example just makes it harder.
That's what I'm all about, Kate. Don't worry. Somehow I'll throw in the Type Moon reference later on and totally lose everybody.
But there's anything
I'll
else?
be like, Coach Daimon is totally like the creepy priest from Fate Stay Night.
Okay, so
And
are there
everyone-
any other non-Type Moon reflections we'd like to have about the show before we move into the spoiler section?
No, I really want to talk about spoilers.
Let's
Okay.
spoil this baby.
All right, well, we're going to take another musical interlude, and we'll be back with spoilers. Ooh.
Booty dropping, nudie popping, knocking players' eyes and they socket, dropping, knocking. Make clap to this. Booty dropping, nudie popping, knocking players' eyes and they socket, dropping, knocking. Make clap to this.
Speech. First of all, I want to thank my connect, the most important person with all due respect. Thanks to the duffel bag, the brown paper bag, the Nike shoe box for holding all this cash. Boys in blue who agree before the badge. The first pushes who ever made the stash. The rock boys in the building tonight. Oh, what a feeling I'm feeling like. Thanks to the lames, niggas with bad aim. Thanks to a little change, I've tore you out the game. Bullet wounds to stop your buffoonery. Thanks to the pastor rapping at your eulogy. The little Kim and them, you know the women friend who carry the word cross state for a gentleman. Yeah, thanks to all the hustlers, and most importantly you, the customer. The rock boys in the building tonight. Oh, what a feeling I'm feeling like. You don't even gotta bring your paper out. Be the dope voice of the year.
So spoilers.
All right, folks.
Yeah, where do we start?
Wakaba
Wakaba
dies.
dies.
Wakaba dies is the new Spike dies.
If only Wakaba Dies was the new Spike Dies. That would make me so happy, but it's not.
I thought that L Dies was the new Spike Dies.
L Dies is the new Spike Dies, sadly.
Wakaba's so dead. Dead.
Like,
She
Man.
is better than the
And, you know,
career
as the
of Pauly
longer
Shore.
the series went on, the happier I was that she was dead, actually.
well, first of all, let's mention Antidote. Like, for the longest time, I was trying to get this anime into my anime club. And I know people complain, like, well, you shouldn't have democratic processes. Well, this club's been around for 10 years, and we didn't know any better when we started it. It started off democratically, so it's always been democratic. And so I finally, one day, they felt really bad about constantly watching, like, the upteeth Moe claptrap that they voted in instead of what I wanted, which was cross game. They finally voted in cross game. And so we watch it, and when we finish that first episode, they all look at me at once and go, "What did you make me feel? Why? That was good. Why did you make me what?" What was the general consensus? Because I think the first episode does a really good job of just pulling you in immediately and going, "Okay, now I have to watch all of this. Thanks a lot, Adachi."
And I think it helps that they were new to it, because I know a lot of people expected that after Touch, whereas if you're new to it, it totally takes you by surprise.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I remember when it first started airing in Japan, being on Anime News Network during the preview season special or something like that, and a bunch of people watched the first episode of Cross Game, and they're like, "Wait a minute, so you kill her in the first episode?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of how Adachi rolls, guys. Just, you know, you're new to this game, I understand. Just roll with it."
But, my God, for a grade schooler, she planned this stuff out.
Some girls are like that, Basil.
Yeah, apparently. Like, she set stuff in motion that had effects, years and years and years later. Like, how do grade schoolers know this? I mean, it was just uncanny how well she planned these things out. Almost like she was a tool of some greater creator.
Wow, that is like giving her so much credit. Like, I don't know. I thought that, everybody, I would assume basically children are extremely affected by death, and the death of their friend in a really awful way, in fact, really affected them all, and they then wanted to fulfill her dream. I guess I'm just being like less destiny fate about it, but like, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, that it's like amazing that they were able to then come to this, but it's not like they found clues of Wakaba like buried underneath the diamond at the high school, like pointing them in the right direction.
Well, things like how she got Ko starting as being a pitcher.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, when she asked, Alba, what would you like in a man? She was like, a man who could pitch 100 miles an hour. And then Ko working towards actually, succeeding that goal just to get her to like him. I mean, there is stuff that happened that has far, reaching consequences beyond probably what was initially intended.
Right, and I guess that's what I mean, is that I don't think that she knew that. She's not a divine being.
At no point did she turn to the screen and go, exactly as planned.
Oh, they do. It's whenever they pan up to the moon. Like,
just according to Keikaku.
Like, whenever they, I swear, I think every time that, in the anime at the very least, where they pan up to the moon, that's supposed to reference Wakaba watching over them. And I think she's in like some giant chair, having some sort of alternate form of Momoji, just petting, her cat, going, yes, minions, do my bidding, yes.
Now you make her sound like Dr. Claw.
Is that is that a bad thing, really? Is that really a bad thing?
Well, I think, going back another parallel with, Touch, when, can I spoil anything here?
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm going to, okay, I'm going to, I'm going to spoil Touch now.
Oh, all right.
When Kazuya dies in Touch, he's already in high school, he's already on the baseball team and everything like that. So when they all round around the baseball team after Kazuya's death, it's not, they all knew Kazuya, so they all knew that dream of going to Koshien and everything like that. In Cross Game, it does speak to the divinity of Wakaba, if you will. That, she was an elementary school kid. Some of the people kind of knew her, and then these other people come along who kind of knew her, and there's just so much time in between when she dies and when they end up going to Koshien that, it really does make Wakaba seem a little more, divine, supernatural, however you wanna play it.
Because she has that, destiny predicting dream.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think it's so much a dream that she had, that is what she thought should happen. Like, she felt very much, I think, that Ko and Akaishi should be friends. That Ko should be a pitcher, and I think she realized that Akaishi was much more intelligent than he let on at times. And so he had the brains to be the catcher.
She kind of recognized Akaishi's abilities and Ko's abilities just from who they were, and what they could have done.
And so I think she did stuff like that to keep pushing them on. And, and just the relationship that she had with, Ko really spurred Alba on to sort of train him to become the pitcher that he is.
In a way, they kind of had carrot and stick, whereas Wakaba was carrot and Alba was stick.
Yeah, I think that's a very good analogy for it.
Yeah. But they even also creating, initial later on friction between the two, where she asked, she asked Alba to not steal Ko from her. And so ever since then, I think she was actually, even though Wakaba said she didn't really want to get that close to Ko, she didn't want to feel that, she was stealing away, and though there was no way for her to be able to do that anymore because Wakaba was no longer around.
It's almost a Meizana Koku kind of. One of the most important parts of the relationship is who is no longer there more than who is there. Because in Meizana Koku, one of the things is Kyoko, the main woman, kind of getting over the death of her first husband. And in Cross Game, it's them both getting over the death of Wakaba and kind of the shadow that she looms over both any of their relationships.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I never thought of it like that, but when you lay it out and you make that comparison to Meizon Ikoku, it's like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense.
Well, I think this is one of the things that, in a way, as I said before, like earlier, I was only half joking when I said by the end of Cross Game, I'm kind of glad Wakaba is gone because she's brought up so much and she's held up on this pedestal because she died when they were like 7 or whatever. I forget how old exactly they were. That like she's like so perfect that nobody could like touch that perfect memory of her, and that's also a running theme in Maze on Ikoku is that like they were together for so little of the amount of time that you didn't have time to like have all this crap happen to you and have all this bad stuff and these horrible arguments that you had to get over. So she just lives in this perfect memory, and then everybody thinks she's super, super perfect all the time. And like in a way for me, I found that like understandable, but also kind of frustrating because you want the characters to sort of like, you understand why they're stuck, but you want them to move on because you connect with them so much. And it's sort of like this person that is holding them back, even though it's what's also propelling them forward.
But it's one of those where I think Ko has he has gotten over her. I think he has moved on because there's the one time where he asks, I asked about, when Kame comes into the picture, because she looks just like Wakaba does, only, in high school. And everyone's like, so how do you feel about that? And he's like, what? She's a different person. The person I know was, 9 years old.
But I feel like you get the feeling that he's always lying about that. Like, the reason that he accepts Akane so readily is because he almost sees her as reincarnated Wakaba. And thereby, I can date her because she's reincarnated Wakaba. And he denies. I always feel that that's part of the problem, that she is kind of, in his mind, Wakaba. But then he also knows that she's not. And that's one of the big conflicts.
But see, I don't think he ever actually is interested in dating Akane. Like, I think everyone else thinks he should be, so he kind of has to play that part, but I don't think he himself really wants that. Like, he was always so lackadaisical about it. Like, I think he was sort of just going through the motions on it, but that wasn't who he was really interested in. Well, I think everyone he already knew that person he was interested was Alba.
I agree that I believe that he was always interested in Alba, but I feel that his relationship to Akane is more than lackadaisical. Like, I feel like he's almost, like, I feel like her role in it is really to be almost therapy. For them to be like, I don't know, I think it was, she's like the final step in that realization that like, Wakaba is gone, but we can still like, live our lives. Like, I feel like she is an ultimate catalyst for the relationship that Ko and Alba eventually have. Like, I think that things might have gone a lot differently if she hadn't shown up. Even though, like I said, I didn't feel like as a romantic rival, I didn't see her as one. But I think she's really important in that, like, acceptance of Wakaba being gone.
And that Akane has flaws, and that Ko kind of learns to see that Wakaba
would have been flawed. And also I feel like one of the problems is that Alba and Ko always kind of want to be together, but they also kind of always feel like they're cheating by being together up until the very end. And it's important, like, he would have been with Alba, but then both of them basically have the shadow of Wakaba over them. And so I feel like, the only way they move forward is by dealing with it through Akane.
Yeah, I could totally see that, actually. Yeah, like, I think that was my point, was that I don't think he was ever trying to date her romantically. But I think he had no interest in a romantic issue with Akane, but I do see how she was herself was therapy for Ko and Alba, and sort of Akaishi too, because it's sort of because that was when he was really trying to push Ko to like, look, she looks just like Wakaba, you need to be dating her.
But see, that's exactly what I was talking about, is like where his like selflessness starts getting in the way.
Yeah.
Of like, because like I was just like ripping my hair out like when he would try to push that, and that's I like that they have to kind of end up dealing with that in the end. Like, no, you have to do something for yourself. Like, it doesn't have to be about Ko, even though Wakaba like kind of left you this message. It doesn't. Not everything has to be about that, and like him eventually also moving forward. Because of Akane.
And stop cock-blocking himself.
Oh my god, that's what I called him.
Like she'd be like, wow, that, what do you call it, that Akaishi guy, he's pretty neat. And he'd be like, no, I'm not, Ko's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a loser.
Well, it's like, Ko really wanted, was like, no, dude, like, you should go tap that. Like, even so when she made those little, arts crafts, keychains, or, for Ko and Akaishi, like, Ko, like, handed him his, but then didn't reveal the fact that he had his own.
Yeah.
So I think Ko was like, no, dude, I'm not interested in that way. Quit pushing me in this direction. But then again, I don't know if, him pushing in that direction really allowed Ko to get to know Akane better than he would have normally, which would have then, I think, led into the therapy that you referred to previously.
You know who I think is an interesting relationship? Only because it's, I think, of all the ones, the subtlest. And I'm not talking about Senda and anyone. I'm talking about Azuma and Alba. I always thought it was understated, but really kind of interestingly powerful.
Are you a shipper?
Well, I just found...
it's kind of simple. I mean, he was very much like going to go, hey, are you going for Alba? Because if not, I can.
I'm going to hit that.
Like, it was very much like, are you going to do this? And Ko's like, are you going to do this? Yeah. Okay then. You go do that.
Because you do realize I'm awesome, alright?
Yeah, exactly. Ko didn't understand that.
I think it's...
The rest of us...
Yeah, that's why he was like, look, I can do that, or I can find other options. It's whatever. It's cool. But you need to make a decision.
Or else I will make one for you.
But even, once again though, I do agree with you, Al. I think it is kind of subtle because, like, he never, I don't know, just the way that he interacts with her and sort of like the way that he's like, okay, or are we going to do something about this? And I think it's really nice the way that happens. It's very just little moments. But he's certainly not, shy. Like, he's like, you plus me equals us. Like,
and by the way, Kate, when I do ship, I'm usually not too horrible about it. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm usually kind of open about it.
Look, your Nakaishi Senda fanfic, I didn't need to know. Like, I really didn't. I'm just saying.
Hey, Senda needs some love too.
No, wrong.
He's just gotta pay.
That's right. And pay. Now, I want to talk about baseball spoilers.
Yeah, that is also...
Because I think, as far as I'm concerned, the fact that we don't see Koshien in the end is bullshit.
And Adachi seems to have some kind of, like, congenial fear of Koshien. Perhaps Shonen Sunday as a whole. Because, you saw, Major, right? Don't they totally skip Koshien and Major?
Trying to think. I don't remember whether they skipped Koshien or not.
Well, we're going to find out. We actually started watching Major recently, so.
And in Touch, they go up to Koshien, and then Koshien, it's mentioned in the last chapter, and they won Koshien. Woohoo!
And then in Cross Game, they never even go. I mean, they're supposed to go, but we
Well,
never see it.
Yeah, the end is when they're traveling to Koshien.
And that is bullshit. That's what I'm here to tell everyone.
But see, I think that really drives home the point that the point of the show was, and the focus was not actually the baseball, but actually the characters. And so the pairing up of Alba and Ko, that was the climax. It wasn't actually Koshien.
Whatever, you wrong.
Like, I see exactly what you're saying. But
Like, I know that you are right, but I don't care.
because I wrote a whole post on how I would have ended Cross Game. Because I felt it ended just like one book too soon. But it ended very well. Just one book too soon.
It's, I don't know. I think it has a wonderfully almost understated ending to it. Like, there are so many shows that require an epilogue to it for you to really have closure. But for this, what they gave me was exactly all I really needed out of it.
Wow, okay, I just completely, utterly disagree. Like, I mean, I like his character interaction. I was actually talking about this when we were on break. But I also, as I said earlier, I love the baseball aspect of it too. He writes good intensity in baseball. So, like, for him to basically be like, oh, actually, I don't care about the baseball anymore. So I'm not going to write what happened in the baseball part, even though I wrote all the rest of these wonderful baseball parts. Nah, actually, those don't matter. That's not true. Like, he wrote the baseball in there. It wasn't like all the baseball in the series happened off screen. Like, I was really, really, really ticked that I don't get.
I love the baseball ending. Like, I was hooting and hollering all throughout the show. Like, I guarantee you, there were times where I would actually rewatch an entire episode or the last 10 minutes just to rewatch certain scenes of them playing baseball.
Exactly.
But the dream was always to go there. Like,
but the dream actually involved them being on the field at Koshien, which we never see. Like,
see, let me reiterate how I would have ended it.
You gotta get in between this.
Okay, how I would have ended it would have been like this. They get up to Koshien, and since they beat their important rival team, it's not really important. What's important is the dream. And the whole idea, my thing was this, that they get up to the last match, and whoever their center fielder is gets injured, kind of like how one of them gets injured in Touch. You know, just random happenstance happens that somebody gets injured, and they basically have to send in Alba as basically, our reserve male guy who is definitely a boy. And that way, they'd have the dream, they'd have it all set up, and then they win the match, and then through some horrible happenstance, somebody finds out that Alba's a girl, and they lose the champion titleship, and basically there's a reverse decision and the other team wins because they had a girl on their team. But everybody is happy because they got Wakaba's
they actually fulfilled the
dream. And that's winning Koshien either way isn't important. It was fulfilling her dream. And, now from before the stuff, what do you call it? Ko and Wakaba are a couple. They completed the dream.
No, Wakaba is dead.
Oh,
Ko
yeah.
doesn't date corpses.
Yes. Necrophilia isn't a thing. Ko and Alba are a couple. They fulfilled the dream. Everybody is happy. You can end there.
Thank you, Adachi. It's so nice to have you on the show. Let me shake your hand.
I totally, I think that's too much. I think that's a really overcomplicated thing to have to do, and I don't think he needed that nor wanted it. And it just
I wanted Koshien. I wanted baseball closure.
I wanted baseball closure, but I was satisfied with what I got. I didn't feel like.
Oh yeah, I didn't hate the show because of the ending or anything.
Yeah, that is just my fanfic for all that it is, for all that the nothing it is worth.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not necessarily that Shonen Sunday or Shueisha has a problem with showing Koshien, but maybe Adachi himself has a problem with showing Koshien because Koshien is such a big deal in baseball that, it's just like, no, they got to Koshien. We can leave it here. Or, the one little blurb of, oh yeah, they won Koshien. Maybe it's just not something that he's really comfortable writing the entire tournament out.
Well, I remember we were discussing this with Carl Lee from Oogie Maniacs, and he said he wondered if basically the Koshien in your head will always be better than the Koshien he could draw. So he just leaves he leaves it to be the Koshien in your head.
Like, I think I totally agree with that idea. And also, I don't know, the idea, I think Alba very much comes to terms with the fact that she can't go to Koshien. Like, and that, the idea of having her play than having to lose because she's a girl, and they figure that out, would just be devastating. And I think she's better off not having to experience that.
I don't care who was in the field or whatever. I just wanted to see the game. I'm just solidly against the fact that, in my opinion, it just seems like as the writer, like, oh, I stopped caring about that, so I'm not going to do it. That's how it seems to me. And then it doesn't come off to me as like, oh, I did this on purpose. It comes off to me as like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like it. And that's not an acceptable excuse to me.
That basically Adachi wants to go back to his Miyuki writing shonen romance days, but is forced to do baseball because that's like, there always has to be a baseball manga in Shonen Sunday. It's like one of their editorial rules. And he is just so well known for his baseball manga. Like, nobody wax poetic about his like swimming or boxing mangas. They're always like, what is Adachi's next baseball manga going to be?
Yeah, definitely. I could see that. The baseball manga is what sells magazines. So, I don't know. I can see the point that, just leaving Koshien off seems pretty lazy, but again, I like the more romantic, optimistic thing that the Koshien in your head is better than the Koshien he could do.
And just the moment of Alba and Ko actually getting together is one of my favorite moments in anything, period. Where she goes, I hate you. Yeah, I know. No, I really, really hate you. Yeah, I know.
I hate you more than anybody else in the world.
Like,
that's the
yeah, it's like the ultimate, like, tsundere confession.
Oh, you just made Kate wince as you stabbed her directly into the heart.
Yeah.
But, well, I don't know. I've also a firm belief that, while you can use like things like tsundere and stuff, I'm sure that they came from not all, but sort of moe tropes. That the actual tsundere character archetype is ages old, and it just recently now has that name to it. And Alba's.
I was just going to say, I think that any character that can only be summed up as tsundere is not worth talking about. Any character who may have tsundere traits, they should be far greater than that. And that is the definition of a good character.
And that's Alba.
Yeah,
I can't use a one word to describe her. And I feel like that word like deconstructs her so far that like it's totally like insulting to her character arc.
But I also think she does make a good example of that kind of character trope, even though she's not just one trope.
And it really does describe that singular scene, that single instance in these two characters' lives. It's a good adjective for that.
See, I'm not trying to say that she's only a tsundere, blah 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 blah. Like, she just is a really good like, someone asked me, what's a good example of a tsundere? I would go, you need to watch Cross Game, you see Alba, see how she acts. That's how, that's something that, is a complex, interesting character. and how they take an idea and really make it into something more. So, new talking point, Sailor Moon is neither a sailor nor a moon. Wait, no, crap, wrong thing.
She does live on the moon, or she used to,
Yes. So
in a past
technically.
life.
Or so they say.
There's the cat.
Oh, I'm super curious, since you guys have read the mangas. How much fan service is there in the manga?
Not much.
Because I feel there's no, because Touch is horrifically filled with, the manga is horrifically filled with panty shots and the such. I remember one of the ways that Ed Chavez really kind of began to respect my opinion was I was like, you know that the main girl in Touch is the main girl in Touch because all of her panty shots are tasteful, unlike other characters in Touch. And Touch would sometimes open with like the main guy watching the girls' tennis team just to have their skirts come up and just for them to have like their prerequisite panty shots for the chapter.
Yeah, in the 3-volume omnibus, I think I saw like one.
Yeah,
So I was wondering.
it's more sparse than in Touch, but there's still it's still there, and it's to me it didn't strike me as anything outside of what I would expect from Adachi, if that makes any sense.
Because I remember the anime of both of them is very not fan servicey, so I was wondering how much fan service there was in the original manga.
Not much. Like, the one thing I really noticed was a lot of the Arthur asides. Like he'll say one thing about summer, and one thing about summer is summer deadlines. And so there's a shot of like an editor banging on his door going, hey, we need more pages. And then going, oh, you don't even know. And then someone say something about like the troubles of summer, and then a box going, oh, you don't even know. And just interesting, Arthur used like breakings of the fourth wall. That's what I really noticed was different about the manga and the anime. Fan service really didn't really come into question.
I do know that wasn't in the anime a lot of the Alba on the girls' team added in that wasn't in the manga?
The manga that's out right now that you can buy, the 3rd volume is still, they're only now setting up the new baseball team. Like, they haven't really gotten much into Alba playing on any girls' teams or anything yet. Like, they haven't gotten that far. So I couldn't tell you.
I swear I remember reading somewhere that is a anime edition.
It could be. I have, I think, the first 8 volumes sitting on a bookshelf, and I've flipped through some of the later ones, but I've only read through the first probably 3.5, 4, and I don't seem to recall there being a girls' baseball team, but I can't say one way or another with 100% certainty that is an anime edition or, oh no, it was there, it just wasn't, used as much as the anime used it.
Like, it also comes like, about more halfway through the anime? And so if it's in the manga, it's going to be a good while into the manga, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the anime, they cross, like I said, the entirety of the first volume of the manga ends with Wakaba's death. Whereas in the anime, that's into the first episode. So I think while they do play fast and loose with the continuity a little bit, at least as far as the contents of the first volume, I do think the anime does speed on through the manga more so. I mean, the manga takes more of a plotting pace. So.
Which would you say you preferred, at least from what you've read?
Oh, that's rough. Realize that Cross Game is probably my favorite anime TV show, period. Like, if I were to have to pick a TV show that I liked most, an anime TV show I like most, I think it's probably Cross Game. So, to be able to pick that or the manga, I just want both.
Yeah, it's a really hard distinction to make as to which I prefer, and I guess maybe it's because I don't, always look at the manga and anime necessarily competing against each other for my affection or, my enjoyment. That, the manga is what it is and the anime is what it is, and, we can pick nits all night, I suppose. But yeah, I really don't know, I haven't noticed much of a difference between the anime and the manga to necessarily have to pick one or the other.
Not like Ko is a drunken alcoholic in one and a saintly priest in the other.
No, I think
Right.
the anime, I think, follows pretty faithfully overall to the manga, and just to be able to actually see the characters interact is really neat, because it's one of those things where I think all the voice actors do a really good job of portraying these characters so well that it's totally like, even when reading the manga now, I still hear the same voices I do in the anime reading those lines. And so I think, even if I end up liking the manga more, I think the anime is still going to hold a really huge place in my heart.
Yeah, sorry, that's all I got.
No, that is valuable for both me and our listeners.
Like, I do definitely think that if you like the anime, you should check out the manga. Like, because there are bits and pieces of it that you do not get in the anime that, fits better in the manga than it would have in the anime anyways. And so it does sort of give you a fuller picture than just the anime by itself. But I feel the anime totally stands up just by itself as a wonderful show. Just, you don't need to read the manga, but it's only going to, I think, make you appreciate both forms more.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair statement. And that probably goes with just about any anime you watch. If you like it, check out the manga, and if you like that too, then great. I really can't say that, this is like, the show is awesome and fantastic, and you should watch it. Oh yeah, by the way, the manga's awesome and fantastic, you should read it. It's kind of if you really like it, check it out. I don't really feel, more enlightened by reading the manga as well as watching the anime or anything like that.
All right, well, we're going to take another break, and then we'll come back with the review scale thing.
Oh, okay.
All the girls show me love. Wine at the bar, got drank by the jug. In the VIP with the chicks and the drugs. It's a TIP, Bun B and Slim Thug. We blowing purple stuff. We pouring purple stuff. 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 We blowing purple stuff. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. We pouring purple stuff. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. DJ, that's my bring 'em out, bring 'em out. DJ, that's my bring 'em out, bring 'em out. DJ, that's my bring 'em out, bring 'em out. DJ, that's my bring 'em out, bring 'em out. DJ, that's my DJ. Yo, DJ, that's my DJ. Yo, DJ, that's my DJ. Yo, DJ, that's my DJ. If you fuck wild, home fuck wild. If you fuck wild, home fuck wild. If you fuck wild, J on the track, nigga. If you go, hey, if you
And we're back.
Yes, we are back. So, how many awesomes out of awesomes would we rate this show, this series, this manga, this anime?
I give it 5 Ozmas out of 5 Ozmas.
5 Osmos is like 10 Kos, right?
Well, in terms of batting, yes, but probably not in terms of, say, pitching.
Right.
So,
But it was 5 Ozmas out of 5, so that's good.
That's a lot of
There's a
Osmos.
lot of Ozma.
Right.
I will give it 16 reincarnated girls who look kind of like your old girlfriend out of an infinite number of reincarnated girls who look like old girlfriends of yours.
When they were like 9.
Yes.
I would give it 15 Adachis out of overstressed manga, or 5 overstressed manga writers.
Whoa. I didn't know you'd go over the amount that you could have.
Man,
It's a good show.
it is a good show. That's a man. I'm gonna give it this series totally knocks it out of the park amazingly out of awesome.
With bases loaded?
It's the only way to
It's
do
true.
it.
It would only be Ozma who was knocking it out of the park.
I see.
So that works as well.
I see.
It's true. It's definitely knocked out of the park. No bunting.
Not even a sacrificial bunt?
You might have a sacrificial bunt to set it up. Like,
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
To load the bases.
yeah.
Get the bases loaded.
Wakaba does the sacrificial bunt at the very beginning.
Oh.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, you did.
But as we said, like right now, Viz has put out a omnibus edition of the first 3 volumes. It's like $15, I think, or thereabouts, between 15 and 20, which is still a better deal than if you were to buy the 3 volumes individually if they offered that for $10 a pop. Also, I think pretty much all of it is now streaming on Hulu.
It's also streaming on the VizAnime.com.
And I think also on Internet News Network, they also have it streaming. So there's plenty of ways that you can get a hold of this show. I mean, if you want to try it out, you can, and do so free. And I highly recommend that you do.
And if you want to get the manga, it's a pretty sizable, like, you get a pretty good idea of what you're going to think of the series, because you get 3 whole volumes.
It's true. It's sadly, the paper quality isn't that great, which I guess is sort of a nitpicking thing, but after getting some of the other Viz stuff and then reading Cross Game, you can tell they sort of did this on the cheap as far as actual quality of the book goes. But the fact that they translated it and gave it out so that I can actually buy it, I don't care. Like, this is one of those things that I felt I had a need to buy it to support more of this coming out.
Yeah, because sports stuff does so poorly that it's very rare that people pick up more of it nowadays. So.
Like, especially after the whole Funimation big wind-up debacle, where they put money into it, they advertised it, and it still didn't sell enough so that they refused to actually put out anything sports-related anymore forever. I really think people need to, go out and say, hey, no, this stuff's good, and we're willing to pay for it.
I'm personally not willing to pay for Big Wind-Up, but I will pay for other sports-related shows and series.
But the point is not buying wind-up, it's buying cross-game. That's the important thing.
That's right.
Like, sorry, during one time we actually watched Big Wind-Up after watching an episode of Cross Game, and everyone's like, that was alright. Can we not watch another episode of Cross Game instead of watching something else? So, I mean,
I think Kate fully supports that.
Yeah.
like, it's a amazing, amazing series. And it's half the episodes of touch, but you don't feel like you've lost any of the calories.
All of the heart.
You could also say it goes 0 to touch in one episode.
Yeah, it does.
That's like more true than it sounded when you first said it, and I was like, wait, that's even more true, because somebody dies in the first episode as opposed to having to wait a while before somebody dies in touch.
Exactly. See, it's what I'm...
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And less perfect Japanese girlfriend.
Yeah, dead perfect Japanese girlfriend.
She doesn't have any chance to show her flaws. As opposed to being a person who, has already planned out their entire gift giving until marriage.
No, gift getting.
Yes, that's your gift getting, yeah.
Gift getting. Not giving.
Like, doesn't have a choice of dating anybody else. No, he's dating her. You know, they're getting married. They decided this when they're like 9 years old. That's totally perfect.
It's a good thing she was such a good swimmer.
It's true.
I couldn't agree more with that statement.
And with that, thank y'all very much for being on this podcast with me.
Well, thank you very much for having us.
I hope y'all had fun.
Yes, thanks.
Yes.
And with that, go get cross game, and we are out.